Hey everyone, welcome to the Healthy Brain Podcast. It's been a few weeks since I've released an episode, and here I am, I'm back. Today, the episode is about our theme in my Legacy Life program. In the month of April, it's all about release. And we are in this group, we're releasing our limiting beliefs, our woulda, coulda, shouldas. We're releasing our expectations that we have of ourselves, of other people, of where we should be, the body we should be further along. And this is especially important at this month because maybe you've set some goals in January, and here we are, 4 months in, and maybe you haven't made much progress. And a lot of times people will just throw the towel in and just give up. But I'm here to encourage you to let's release what's happened in the past and move forward. Now, this month of release leads to the next month of May, which the topic and the theme is renewal. And the following month of June is the theme of rise or growth. So we're starting with the release this month, and I'm going to be providing you today with an acronym with a things, principles, and ideas to keep in mind if you want to follow along. But of course, you can join our Legacy Life program. I'll talk a little bit about it in a moment. The but the idea with the release acronym is, and I went live in my group a couple of days ago to introduce it. We're doing a couple of little mini challenges in the Legacy Life this month. We're going to be doing a release in our home, so doing a little bit of home decluttering. That's it, one of the weeks. Another week, we're going to be doing a little gentle, mild detox. Detox as far as nutrition, but it also will include digital detox. It can be any form that you'd like to take as far as that, but we will be focusing mainly on a nutritional mild detox in releasing certain foods, seeing how our body responds to it, but it's all very doable. I'll be giving more detail about that in my group. If you're interested in this Legacy Life program, I have a 14-day free access that you can try out, and you just can find the link in the show notes. And if after that 14 days you want to join us, it's a monthly subscription that you can cancel at any time. All right, well, let's start talking about this release, the idea of release. A lot of times we just want to go right to the doing, the rise. And remember, I mentioned about how in May we're doing renewal, and in June we're doing rise. And a lot of times when we have a goal, we've set something, we want to change something in our lives, we want to get right to the action, to the rise, to the growth. I want to change, I want to just completely change everything. But the doing, we wonder why we get stuck and we can't do what we have planned to do. You may have all of these, like, I know I should do this, I should do that, but we're just not taking the steps. One reason is that we're stuck with expectations that may not be serving us. Those expectations can come out as limiting beliefs. And these belief cycles that we've just been believing for years and years, maybe you have a belief, a limiting belief of, I can never get healthy. I will never be able to walk a mile. I won't be able to improve my brain health. I know that it's impossible for me to change my life. So these are limiting beliefs and belief cycles that keep us stuck. In my Legacy Life program, we use a coaching tool that's based on cognitive behavioral science, and in addition, holistic health therapies. But that the particular coaching tool that we use is based that our thoughts and our emotions fuel our actions. So if you are currently stuck, and most of us have different parts of our life where we feel stuck, a huge contributor is how you are thinking and feeling about your situation. That's why when I was thinking of the 3 months that April, May, June, because usually I do a 90-day cycle, a 3 month cycle, but we decided to do a 30-day focus. So if you want to just, like I mentioned, if you want to try this out for 2 weeks or a month, try it, set a goal for a month. Let's see where we can progress you to, what you can release in this month of April. You can use these principles in this acronym release. I've broken it down to these principles, and from these, it will give you an idea of how I'm approaching this idea of release. Because the following acronym and the principles within the acronym are pointing us back to where and what will help us to release the stuckness in our life, where we are feeling stuck, where we're not, when we can't get any momentum, maybe not even any traction. We can't even just take the first step. So I'd like to explain each of the letters of release and what it refers to. And this, of course, is not in order. For some people, they may have the word, the S word, what it stands for, and I'll get to that in a moment. They may jump to that because that is the area where they feel that if they released something, that they would gain some traction. Other people, it may be another word, a principle that will really resonate with them. So I just want you to look at the whole thing, the release, the 2, 4, 6, 7 words that are principles and ideas to help you and guide you to what area do I need to release? What area needs my attention right now? What is holding me back? What is holding me back that if I release it in this month of April, then I'll be able to renew. And really, renew is going to be, I'm really looking forward to May because renew, it lines up especially nice with the springtime. And rise, we're going into the summer. We're going to be rising and growing in our lives. All right, so let's look at this release. R. R stands for reality. Whenever we make a change or whenever we want to make a change or we're feeling stuck, in coaching, we always want to be realistic as to where we are right now. Let's open up your eyes and be realistic of where you are right now. Let's not hide behind things. If you are so many pounds overweight, if you are feeling so stressed out and overwhelmed and your mind is spinning, notice it. We want the reality of the present moment. Yes, I always encourage people to let's think big, let's think ahead, let's dream, let's have a vision. That is very important because that is where we're moving towards, but we need to know where we're starting from. And if you haven't really taken a look in the mirror to see this is my reality, I don't like how the certain relationships are going. I don't like how I'm responding to some things. I don't know. I don't like how I'm emotionally dysregulated, that my nervous system is upregulated all the time. So be realistic. Let's take the reality. And I think for everybody really, let's start there. That's a good place to start. And then in the future, in the further words along that we're going to be discussing here, you may pick or choose what you want to work on. There's three E's in release, but the first E is emotions. And as I mentioned, there's a coaching tool that we use in the Legacy Life program based on cognitive behavioral science. And in addition, I use a lot of other coaching tools and holistic health therapy tools. But with this, emotions means that in this principle, what is a predominant emotion that you've been feeling that is really keeping you stuck? And what can you release? What emotion are you? Maybe it's like you're tired and you want to release that emotion, or maybe you're frustrated, or maybe you have anger. Where can you release that anger? Because until we release, we recognize it, we process it, we acknowledge it, and even though I am encouraging you to pick an emotion that's going to give you the energy to take action, we need to also recognize what are the emotions that we might have been ignoring. I know for years I ignored how I was truly feeling, and I just squashed it down and buffered. It's called buffering or numbing out, ignoring, however you want to say it. That causes us to overeat, overdrink, overspend, overscroll. So, where is it in your emotions? What is a predominant emotion that you are ready to release? Because you know, maybe you're scared that if you release this emotion of frustration and anger, that will leave you some with vulnerability. But maybe that's what's needed. And in the support of the Legacy Life program, definitely I provide that coaching and that support for you when you're going through this. The other aspect of emotions is, what is it? What do I want to feel? I know for me lately, it's been peace. I've just wanted to feel peace. And many of my choices on what I have allowed to release goes back to the feeling of peace. The next letter is lessons. What are these past experiences teaching you? What are the lessons that you've learned from situations where maybe you haven't achieved the goal? You've quote unquote failed. A lot of times in coaching, we don't talk about a failure. We talk about what did you learn from it? What are the lessons? So it's important to look at that. What are the lessons that you have learned over from January, February, March? And from those lessons, where can you then release certain expectations and say, okay, I'm putting the line in the sand. I'm going to step forward. This is a new beginning. We just are in the Easter season. This is a new beginning. The line was made in the sand. It's a new beginning. Everything is made new. So, where can we learn but step into the newness in this release, the month of release? The next E is environment. Now, the next four are more tangible. So, environment, what I mean by that is your office space, maybe your home space, your work space, your car, wherever, what environment, where can you release something in the environment? Maybe you've been stuck because you're waiting for something to happen and for some kind, maybe for someone else to do something in the environment. Where can you release that expectation and do it yourself, or just move on? Not let that hold you back because something is not done or completed in the environment. So when I was coaching through some of my clients about this environment, it can look different for people. For some people, they need to release, have the reality, have the lessons learned in the environment, and then they can move forward. So just think of your environment. Where can there be a release of something, or where do you have to let go of certain expectations, or how are you thinking about your environment that's keeping you stuck? And where do you need to change those limiting beliefs? That is a huge one. So if you're stuck in maybe a renovation or something happening in your environment, it could be that the way you're thinking about it needs to be released in order to allow the growth to happen and the renewal to happen. The next letter is A, actions. So what actions have you been taking that it's like you're spinning your wheels, you're not getting anywhere, you need to release those actions. And it gets back to that cognitive behavioral coaching tool. Our thoughts and feelings create our actions. And maybe you're not taking the action. And the release is releasing the inaction. Maybe you realize like you're not doing, you have all these ideas, but you're not doing any of the action. So what is it, and what is a small action you can do? What is something you can release that will open up and release the action, and maybe it opens up to do something new, a new action. The S stands for spiritual. Spiritual, where can you release? Where can you release in your spiritual life, in what you believe in God, in Jesus Christ? Where can you release your striving and just have faith and trust in God? Where can you release? Where can you step further into this spiritual growth? That maybe that's what needs, maybe the other things like the environment and the lessons, maybe that doesn't resonate with you, but maybe this, and again, we're in this Easter season, maybe this is where you need to step into to release and let trust in Jesus, the Divine Mercy Chaplet. Jesus, I trust in you. The last E is eating. And it may be funny, like, wow, that doesn't seem to go with everything. But the framework of the legacy life is we focus on home, so environment, body, mind, and spirit. So the body being our physical body, our mind is our brain, and our spirit is our faith. So the body, how we take care of the body, there's a lot that goes into it. It's sleeping, stress management, eating, hydration. So the last E is, what do you need to release? What do you know that if you released a certain food will impact your health significantly? If it's gluten, maybe it's dairy, maybe it's extra sugar, maybe it's alcohol. What can you release that you know will, when you release that food, amazing things, and maybe you're a little afraid of what's going to happen because you may be using those foods to help buffer, to help you manage the emotions that you don't want to feel. So when you're looking at this eating, what can you release? It may not even be food types. It could be the amount of food that you're eating, the eating in the evening time, the packing packing, I went through a period of time where I had to have all my meals planned out. And part of that was with four kids, I definitely needed that plan. But when I would work in a clinic at the hospital, I'd have all my little food containers because this was at the time also when we wanted to eat every 2 to 3 hours. Now that's not something I need to do, but I was so concerned about the frequency and the amount of food. But I noticed this I think it was last year through Lent, I gave up not necessarily certain foods, but I gave up snacking in between meals. And just that not having to worry and also going out the door for errands and things and being okay with feeling hungry and not worried about, oh my goodness, I have to grab something or else I need it because I need it because I need it just because I need it. Now, if you have a particular health condition, there's diabetes, there's even cholesterol, blood pressure, where you have to eat a certain amount and really plan for your food, then that's a consideration. But I'm talking about just ways that eating may be an area that you could release, and you're going to be okay if you don't have a lot of food that you're used to having a lot of food and you don't really need a lot of food. Maybe you need to pare it down. So these 7 areas: reality, emotions, lessons, environment, actions, spiritual, eating, they're principles that point us back to where and what will help us to release the stuckness in our lives. You may have one that really resonated with you or a few. And like I said, if you're interested in joining me in the Legacy Life program, there's the 14-day free access, or you can just join for a month and see how you love it. Okay, take care. I'll see you next time.